WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, X, and our website, www.wvtcdetroit.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. Thank you for tuning to WVTC Radio Detroit and the Community Bell Show with your host, former Wayne County Commissioner Edna Bell. Stay tuned for insightful information Detroiters will find valuable. Text a friend and tell them to watch with you for news you can use. And now, your host, Edna Bell.
Hello. It is Monday at 4:00, so it must be the Community Bell Show. Welcome. I've missed you, folks. I've been away for a couple of weeks. I've missed you, but I'm back now. And see, I brought the warm weather back with me. As a matter of fact, I was in a place that's always warm. I was in Hawaii. It's a wonderful trip. Wonderful trip. I had an excellent opportunity to take a tour of Maui, which is the island we were on. It was absolutely marvelous. And I want to tell you, thank you to my daughter, Alicia, for allowing me to be her plus one. I appreciate that. You know, she gets a plus one. So if when her husband can't go and the kids can't go and her sister can't go, I'm number 4 on the list. So I'm happy to be number 4 on the list of going going to some of these wonderful trips. But it was a wonderful trip. And I want to talk a little bit about Hawaii was marvelous. But you may remember that about 3 years ago, 2, 3 years ago, they had a horrific fire there that burned an entire city. And we had an opportunity to see that city and to interact with the people in that city. And I've got to tell you, it was really heart wrenching. It was heartbreaking to see what happened to that city because of that fire. And you learn things often when you go to places that you don't frequent. One of the issues was that many of um, I don't want to call them aristocrats, but those folk who had a lot of money owned much of the land, and the land um, where this fire took place in the city was very dry, just almost a kindle waiting to happen, a fire waiting to happen, because the water was being diverted from all these folks who own rich people who own this land above the city, and the water was being diverted. So with all that water surrounding the Hawaiian Islands and the Pacific Ocean, it's amazing to know that the water that could have probably saved some of those people was being diverted. So they didn't have the water to put the fires out. The sights of people jumping into the Pacific Ocean to save themselves was heart wrenching, absolutely heartbreaking. And when you saw how the fire spread and the way it kindled, it was just heartbreaking. So we had an opportunity to meet with some of the people who lived in the city, some of the activists who are now um, trying to rectify the situation that was a part of the cause of the fire. And it was really so educational, so educational. But just think about the fact that you have all this water surrounding you and you don't have enough water in the right places to put out the fires. And we're talking about at least 1,000 people died, probably more, and they're not sure because they haven't found everyone yet. Isn't that? It's just horrific. They are in the process of building homes now and trying to rebuild the city and find homes for those people who were displaced. But when you imagine a whole city having burned down and all the families that were in that city, as you drive up this particular highway to the resort we stayed in, there are uh, crosses and pictures of all the people who died along this freeway. It's just something to see. It really, really is. And so our hearts go out to the people of that city in Hawaii, in Maui, who lost all of those lives. But the good news is that they were able to get some laws enacted so that that will hopefully never happen again. And one of the things that you don't know, you need to hear about, but there were hundreds of homes, maybe even thousands of homes in Hawaii that were not being used. They were owned by people who don't live on the island who had built these homes and were rarely ever used. But they had a homeless problem because of all the people who were displaced. So the good news is that the government made some laws that had to do with what they called vacation properties that were not used, so that now I believe they said only 4% of those properties are not used. They were able to put people in those properties who were homeless because of this fire. So that's the good news. But I tell you, it was really quite heart wrenching to watch the videos of these flames and of these homes as they just ignited one by one, one by one. Look at all the cars that were burned, and to look at people jumping into the ocean because that was their only recourse. They couldn't go anywhere because the streets were crowded, and those streets had cars on them that had started to burn. And it was just a horrific scene. So our hearts still go out to the people on that island who lost their lives and their families because of those fires. Praise God that they will find ways to continue to rebuild. And you find so many things that you don't even think about because the electrical and the power was also destroyed during the fires. They're rebuilding homes, but the people can't move into them yet because the power is not on, and they can't turn the power on until all the homes are built. Really strange. But in any case, at least they're rebuilding, and people are trying to get back to what was some semblance of normalcy. But it was a great conference. I was just pleased to be able to go. The National Organization of Black County Officials held its annual conference in Hawaii on Maui, and one of the speakers was Tavis Smiley. And I hadn't seen Tavis for a while, but Tavis Smiley was one of the speakers. He did a great job. And he talked about what's going on now in our country, um, what's going on now with the people that we love, people who are losing their jobs, people who can't afford to buy gas, people who are homeless, people who are being attacked because of their beliefs, because they verbalize what they believe. Last I checked, free speech was one of the things that we prided ourselves in. And so we've got some work to do, everybody. We've got to remember we've come through a whole lot. And so what we're going through now is a little glitch, as I call it. Uh, we came through oceans, we came through other countries, we came through all sorts of things, and we have survived, and we will survive what's going on now. I know there are those who want to believe that they are going to able to eliminate some of us, and that's just not going to happen. I believe strongly that God has a plan, that God will only allow so much to happen, and then He'll step in. And for all those people who claim to be religious and claim to know God and know the Bible, and then allow the kinds of things to go on that we see going on in this country, I question whether they really know the God that I know, the God who loves everybody, the God who doesn't see color, the God who wants everyone to live life as He would have us to live it. And so I just believe that uh, things will change. We've been through a lot, and we may have a lot to go through in the next few years, but guess what? We've made it through a whole lot worse, and we'll make it through this. So those of you who are out there maybe feeling a little bit despondent, maybe feeling a little bit, oh my goodness, what's coming next? Am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be able to buy gas? Am I going to have a house to live in? Am I going to have water? On and on and on. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. You'll make it through because we've always found a way to make it through. We're strong people. We are a strong people, and we will survive whatever folks throw at us, because that's just what we do. That's just what we do. We are survivors, and everything is going to be okay. I want to say to you folks that everything is going to be okay because God said it would be okay, and I believe it. He said it. I believe it. Now, you can sit around moping and just sit around not doing what you're supposed to do, and don't mope around. Continue to live your life. Continue to do the kinds of things that God would have you to do. Continue to help others. Continue to help yourself. Continue to believe that we are the great people that we are. And continue to believe that you can do anything through God who strengthens us, right? You do believe that, don't you? Well, we've got work to do. We've got young people we've got to take care of. We've got elderly people we've got to take care of. So get your grits ready. Get all those chicken wings ready. Get some pop, some red pop ready. Now, I'm a Pepsi person. Sorry, but I am. Get your pop ready. And just have a good time. Have a good summer, because it's going to be a good summer. No matter what people say, no matter what people tell you, it's going to be all right, because it will be all right, because you will make it all right. We've been able to survive some rough times. And many of you who will remember this, remember government cheese. When you talk about government cheese, you get it in the long box, the rectangular box. made the best macaroni and cheese under the sun. Well, you know what? We survived that era. We'll survive this era just because it's who we are, because we're strong. We are mighty. We're strong. And we have to tell ourselves that, but we have to tell our children that they are strong and mighty. We've got graduation ceremonies going on all over this metropolitan area, all over the nation, as a matter of fact. We've got young people who are graduating, beginning their next phase of their life, beginning the next phase of their education. They're deciding what it is they really want to do. And so I'm just honored and so pleased and excited. My last grandbaby graduates next week. Prom was this past Saturday, and she looked absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. Miss Morgan Elise Young. She's gorgeous, but not only is she gorgeous, she's real doggone smart. Real smart. She's number 22 in her class of 367 young people. No, no, not 300, sorry, 567. She's number 22. So, we're just kind of happy and I'm bragging. Yes, I'm the grandma bragging about her grandbaby. Yes, I am. But she is absolutely wonderful. She's going to be going to University of Michigan. Thank you, Lord, for the full ride. Whoo, Jesus, thank you. That matters. That matters. And she's been accepted into the University of Michigan Ross School of Business. So she's going to be one of those young business entrepreneurs. She's gonna set the world on fire along with all of her friends. And she's a sports person. She plays lacrosse. She's a captain of her lacrosse team at Cass Tech. And I'm just so proud of my Missy Morgan. I call her Missy Morgan. Now, Missy Morgan is probably a head taller than I am, but oh well. All of my grandkids are taller than I am, so that's the way it goes. But I'm just really, really proud of her. And after the next song that we're going to play, I'm going to come back and talk to you about some more about our children. So we're going to hear a song in just a minute. But while the song is getting ready, let me tell you what our obligation is to our young people. Number one is to keep them safe. Keep them safe. Number two is to make sure that they have an opportunity to achieve whatever goal it is they want to achieve. They want to go to college. Our job is to try to figure a way to get them there. If they want to be one of those young people in skilled trades, it's our obligation to get them there. Skilled trades, I'm telling you, we've got all these people retiring. We need young people to go into the skilled trades arena. We need electricians and carpenters and plumbers and folk who know how to deal with concrete. We need all of that because of these folks are retiring. And if we're going to build another community, we need all the people who know how to fix electrical wires and who know how to install plumbing and to do concrete and to build houses with wood and all hammers and nails. We need those young people. We need them to know how to do that. And not only do we need them, they need us to let them know that those available skills are there for them, that they can get paid while they do some of those things and learn how to do those things. And in the meantime, they can build the nation for us of tomorrow. They can build the new homes that we need, the new businesses that we need. Um, they can get involved in this, and I hate to say it, AI, is that what they're calling it? They can get involved in AI. They can do all those things. And I'm just excited that we've got a group of young people who are capable of doing all of that, plus some, all of that. And so we're happy that we are able to talk about these young people and the skills that they have, the skills that they're going to get to take care of all of us. Because see, I'm looking for young people who are going to be around to take care of those of us who are 80 plus. I'm looking for those young people. I want you to do that. I want to sit back and watch you hone your skills, be the business people of tomorrow. And once you get those skilled trades, you can be the businessman who owns the electrical company, who owns the engineering company, who owns the plumbing company, who owns the lumber company, who owns the company that provides all those orange barrels and those orange cones that we see all over the place. Oh my goodness. Orange barrels and orange cones. We all know where they are. We see them all the time. But we can be the people who own those companies that provide those services. Important. And I know you think about, oh, that's not a business. Yes, it is. One of my businesses before I retired as a female business owner, we were one of the only female businesses that provided construction equipment. And orange barrels and orange cones are one of the things that we provided. We got lots of contracts because we were one of the only female companies that did it. So think out of the box. Think about things that you want to do that you don't see anybody else doing that need to be done. And there are lots of those things. But think about how you can be the person that says, hey, I think I'll do that. I know how to do that. And I think I will. You're so smart. You're so active. I look at my grandchildren now and I say, wow, look at them. You know, I've got the two boys that graduated, one last year, Cranston Cardell Young, graduated last year. Wonderful young man, wonderful young man. And I'm going to talk about him once we had come back from this song you're about to hear about my two grandsons. They're just absolutely marvelous. And you see them, so you'll see them before they get onto their summer programs. You'll see them.
I'm black and I'm mad. I'm black and I matter. God created me to be who I am. Oh, I'm black and I matter. Yes, I'm black and I matter. God created me
hello. We are back. We are back. Guess who I have with me today? I have a very special guest. A very special guest. Wayne County Commissioner Angelique Peterson Mayberry. Welcome.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you for having me
You're so
again.
welcome.
You know, I love coming to talk to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, District 6?
5.
District 5. Okay,
Mhm.
District 5.
Mhm.
And District 5 is?
District 5 is from I-75 to Greenfield, 8 Mile to Grand River.
Mhm.
And we know with redistricting, there were some cuts and curves. So it
Mhm.
cuts and curves around Woodward and 6 Mile.
Okay.
Mhm.
So if you know where all of that is, you know what Mumford High School is.
You know where Mumford is.
That's in the district.
Yes.
You know where New Prospect Missionary Baptist
There you
Church
go.
is at Livernois
You know
and
where
Pembroke.
Palmer Park is,
You
all
know
the
Palmer
things,
Park,
right?
Palmer Woods, you know
Bates
where Oakman
Academy, all the
and
things.
Grand Oakman and Livernois, you know where that is.
That's right. That's
you know,
right.
Bates Academy, you know, all those places.
Yes.
All those places. That's her district.
That's my district. I am theirs and they are mine.
Absolutely. See? one and the same. One and the same.
Yes.
Talk to us about what's going on in your district these
Oh my
days.
goodness. You know, so being appointed to the position last July, it's
Mhm.
almost a year already, July
Yes.
2nd. We just hit the ground running. I mean, you know, my entire office, I'm constantly hearing, oh, you're busy. And we are, you know,
Yeah,
busy
busy.
because there's a
Mhm.
lot going on. And
Yes.
so one of the biggest things that I've recognized is that there's information that oftentimes is trickled to the community
Mhm.
and not, I would rather it be oversaturated in the community so people could say, at least we know.
Yes.
So one of the things I've been working on is around deed fraud.
Isn't it amazing?
Oh my
how
gosh.
people just sit back and think of ways to
And
do
steal people's
and
property.
steal people's property. It's amazing. So you did a seminar, a seminar informational piece a couple of weeks ago, didn't you?
That's my second one.
Mhm.
I did one in October when I found out how this is really impacting so many, and I will say mostly Black and brown people.
And seniors are the
and
ones. Those are
seniors.
the ones that.
And you know
Mhm.
what's even more disheartening? The biggest offenders, in addition to it being family members,
Mhm.
are notaries and those who
Yes.
have all this information. So what I did is I went down and spent a couple hours at the Register of Deeds office.
Mhm.
I just needed to know what this process was. It's way too easy to do.
Way too
easy to do. So
Mhm.
there is a public act, a law in effect at the state, Public Act
Mhm.
154. And Public Act 154 simply says that if you knowingly and willingly steal someone's deed, then now you have just committed a crime and it's a felony.
Good.
It's a felony. The penalty is not as harsh as it should be,
Mhm.
but you have to sign up with the county to allow them to be co-victims.
Okay.
And so with that, you now then are leaning on the county for resources, attorneys, and the length of time that you're on. But you know what I would encourage all of the listeners to do is please, please, please register your property and get a deed fraud alert on your property. A couple of weeks ago, my colleague and I, my chair, Alicia Bell, we were able to do, you know, we did another deed fraud alert, and we had the Wayne County prosecutor, Ms. Kim Worthy, present, and we also had Register of Deeds, Mr. Youngblood, present to walk people through to hear how did we get here?
Mhm. Mhm.
2, is it just us? No, it's not. And 3, what can we do? So people say, well, Commissioner, my property is paid for, my house is paid for, my taxes are current. That has nothing to do
Doesn't
with
matter.
it. That has nothing to do with it. People are stealing properties left and right, and sometimes they're doing it when they do not even live in the state.
That's the piece that gets me. All these out of state actors.
Oh my goodness.
And then some of these are major companies also. It isn't just
Absolutely.
things- and they know what they're doing.
They
sorry.
know.
I don't give them any
No
slack.
grace.
They
No
know,
grace.
They know what they're doing.
They know exactly what they're doing. So
Mhm.
one of the things, and I was almost embarrassed. I mean, prior to me finding out about this, I didn't have alert on my property.
Mhm.
And so I was able to walk through it. It takes about 5 minutes with an active email address and a password that you know. You go and you register. So what happens once you're registered is the moment someone attempts to taint your deed, steal it, try to do anything with it, remove your name from it, you will get an alert. You get an email
Okay.
alert.
Okay.
And so the only way people will know that their property has been stolen 3 ways. 1, you go to sell your home and you
Mhm.
realize your name's not on it. 2, you go to refinance your home and you realize your name isn't on it. 3, you get a knock at the door from someone who's showing you paperwork that shows that your name is not on it.
You don't own it anymore.
You don't own the home anymore. And so we've heard one too many stories of people who've been in their homes 50 plus years who now all of a sudden find themselves in a position
Mhm.
where their name is no longer on their home. And so this is a national problem. I've done some research on this, and one of the things that we're recognizing is that it is happening in larger numbers in urban communities.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so someone asked at the workshop, they
Mhm.
asked, well, why? So we could give a hypothesis
Yes.
of why we think
Mhm.
that we're not taking care of our paperwork like we need to, as it relates to our property, our homes when we pass away,
Mhm.
things of that
But
nature.
you can't say it, but I can.
Okay.
Because most of them, the urban communities, have got black folks in
Oh,
them.
see,
Got
well,
black and brown people in them. People who look like us.
look like us.
And older people, because most of our
Yes.
urban communities are older
They're older.
populations.
People are aging in their home.
They're aging
Absolutely.
in their homes. And so people think that, oh, I can go in and just take this because they won't know.
They won't know.
And nobody will care. Well, guess what? Somebody
we
cares.
care.
And
Stop
if
it.
If you're doing it in Wayne County, you're gonna have some hell to pay. Excuse me. You've got to pay.
You've got to pay. I mean, when you think about it too, so there are people who will watch a home. You know, one example we were given is someone on the street passed away and the grass no longer got cut.
Mhm.
The winter began, the snow was not shoveled. And
Mhm.
so people were watching. And the assumption is, oh, nobody's paying attention to this
Mhm.
home. And so there was an attempted defraud. And so that's one of the things that we have to make sure. So that I've been really, really immersing myself in that defraud since I took this space. Another space, in addition to just bringing resources, there are a lot of county resources
Yes.
that people don't know about. I actually had, I've been talking to Wayne Metro. I met with DAAA. You know, I feel like with the resources that exist and the communities that exist, that bridge is extremely important and necessary
Yes.
to get people the resources that are there for them. People are paying for things that they should not be paying for because their taxes are already paying for some of the services that they're paying for.
Yes.
Like getting a deed from, you know, there are companies who are taking advantage of people being unaware. So they're charging to get a defraud alert put on your property.
And all you have to do is go down to the
All you have to do-
register of deeds.
You could do it
5
online
minutes or do it online, and you do it without charge.
without the charge. And the most recent thing is around human trafficking. So
Yes.
trafficking, I sat down, myself in my chair and another one of our colleagues, we sat down with the Wayne County prosecutor a couple of weeks ago and did a 4-hour trafficking training.
Okay.
So it was put on by Michigan Human Trafficking Commission. And what we're trying to do is make sure that there's alignment for anyone who finds themselves in that space. The days are over where it's a white van pulling up.
Exactly.
Now it's online. There's something called grooming where people will use a third person to get to the person that they really want. When I tell you there's labor trafficking. People are doing labor and not getting paid the correct wage. And for whatever reason, sometimes maybe they don't have some of the citizenship. Other times they find themselves in a position where they are indebted to someone. And so any of this type of coercion and manipulation that's happening is happening in our communities. And when it's happening in our communities and we know better, we have to do better. We have to do some things around it.
Yes.
So the city of Detroit did an ordinance already around trafficking. So the ordinance states that all hotels and motels must have a placard with information. So what we're doing from a county perspective is trying to align so that city, state, and county are all aligned. So what does that mean with our parks? What does that mean in our juvenile systems? Not only signage, but what are the resources available to you? What are the phone numbers? You know, and then when we find people who are committing these, how are we then getting these people and holding them accountable?
Absolutely. And it's so important, particularly for our young people.
Mhm.
Because some of our young ladies, some of them don't have the backup they need.
don't.
And so they don't know. And there's
No.
nobody there to help them out, to
No.
explain to them, or to kind of send them on the right track when they start going off on the wrong
Absolutely.
side. And so we need to be really cognizant of the fact that we need to put as much effort as we can
Yes.
to educate them.
Yes.
And not only that, but to show them that there's another way.
There's another way. And so even from a House bill perspective, there's House bills already in place for trafficking. There's, we've been talking with some of our state leaders around another House bill around deed fraud. And then, I feel that our communities, we have a lot of resources at our fingertips, and we're just not using them. We're just not using it. So I think that those are other spaces. One of the things that I'm proud to say that I'm hosting on June 2nd is Sinai Grace. Okay. DMC Sinai, old school DMC Sinai, right?
We know Sinai
We
Grace.
know Sinai Grace. Right? They have a new CEO.
Okay.
So they have a new CEO, Mr. Lance Buez. He's been there for about 2.5 months. And we know that Sinai Grace DMC needs to rebrand themselves in the community based on the new DMC Sinai. I mean, I was born there almost 52 years ago now, and it's just not the same.
It is not the same. And it doesn't have the reputation that it had.
That's right.
And we need to find a way to redo that because it's right in the middle of our community.
It is in the community. And there are still people who will risk their health, who live right across the street or in the neighborhood.
We'll go
somewhere else. So I sit on this committee called PFAC at Sinai now, and PFAC stands for Patient, Family, and Community. It's comprised of not only elected officials, but community. And there's clergy, and there's also nurses on this. So we've been able to talk about what are some of the low-hanging fruit, but how do we communicate to people about, one, the modernized equipment, number one trauma center, number one NICU unit. But then what is the experience like for those who are coming in the door, and how has that changed? And if it has not changed, what are we doing to hold people accountable for how they show up?
See, that's the issue. You got to make sure that the people that we're hiring in those positions feel the same way as we do about the location and the people who are coming in, because that can make such a huge difference.
Oh my goodness.
In how people perceive the location.
Absolutely.
They've got to be welcomed, but they also have to see professionalism, cleanliness.
Oh yes.
Safety.
Oh yes.
All those things have to be shown to people because of what the history has been.
Because of the history. And so they've been working really hard with law enforcement to make sure that there are, licensed readers there. And someone said, well, Commissioner, why would you advocate for that? Well, here's what happens. And this is directly from DPD. They spoke of oftentimes when there's been an incident, someone will pull up, drop someone off, and then pull off. And so now you have just complicated the entire investigation process. And so, the longer it takes for us to investigate, oftentimes we lessen the chances of really getting things decent and in order and holding people accountable. And it was what the 12th precinct mentioned that they needed in that space. And so now those are there. And that was a small win, but it really was big. And so when I was there last week, we go and we talk to patients, but we also talk to employees. And there were several employees who have been there 20 plus years. And they said that they would work nowhere else. This is exactly where they want to be. And they knew their impact with their patients. And they understood the innovation that's happening and the new culture shift that has been happening in the last couple of years. So we really need to make sure. So on June 2nd, we're going to host a town hall where we bring out the CEO. He hears from the community and the community hears from him, because I told him 2 narratives are existing right now. 1, I'll die before I go to Sinai. 2, I'll die if I go to Sinai. Either way, it's not good for the hospital. And so he recognizes that, but he really, I really respect him because he's putting himself in a position to hear from the community. I'm pretty sure, as I've told my constituents, come out and let's just be honest and fair, respectful, but let's have a really, really heart-to-heart conversation.
And you mentioned the clergy. Having churches push that narrative is important too. So if there are ministers who can be a part of that conversation, it's important for them to be able to do that. The Baptist Pastors Council needs to be a part of that. I know that the mayor has established a liaison minister,
Pastor White,
former at Dexter Avenue. so he needs to be a part of that, because
Yes.
they all need to talk to their parishioners about, we have a hospital in the middle of our community
That's right.
that is safe.
That is safe.
Not only is it safe, it's top notch in all of these areas, and they don't know that. People
They don't know
that.
that. They don't know that.
that.
And it's almost like when I cringe when I hear people say we have a failing school system.
Mhm.
Because you have young people who are in the school system, and I wonder, what seeds are you planting? Because I see success stories day after day after day. And
Yes.
congratulations on
Thank
your
you, thank you,
grandbaby. Yes, she
grandbaby.
was
Thank you.
beautiful. Morgan, you were beautiful for the prom. Okay.
Yes, she was gorgeous.
She was absolutely gorgeous. But when you say that and you have people working in that health field, what does that say about them to say, oh, Sinai doesn't have the skill? There are masterful, skillful professionals who work there,
Yes.
who make a conscious decision to work there.
Yes.
They could be anywhere, but they want to be there in the community. They want to help. And so, the customer experience, how are they treating their employees?
Yes.
These are narratives that we can create, but in absence of us sharing them, others are creating them for us.
Absolutely. And that's we're letting other people decide what our story is going to be.
Absolutely.
And we have to tell our own story.
We have to tell our own story.
The way it really is, not the way people have perceived it.
That's
to be.
right.
We've got to tell the story. And I know they probably have a PR person, but that PR person people have to know who that is. They need to know the name. Mary Jane is, that's the PR person from
That's right.
Grace.
That's right.
Yeah, I know her. She was at so and so and so.
Absolutely.
And so. She talked about so and so and so and so.
Yes.
Have some young
They have
interns
to.
from the community, from the school system, working there as
those are the
part-time.
biggest. And that was our conversation when we met. We meet once a month. And last month I asked him, who are the influencers that you are bringing to the conversation around marketing and branding? Because those young people, whether we want to admit it or not, the spaces in which they are able to operate and do their thing, they do very well.
Yes.
They do very well. So
Yes.
identifying who are the community advocates, and then how are we getting the messaging and the wording out?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, you need to let me know who that person is. I'll have them on the show. Or
Oh,
have
great.
a new president
Okay.
of the show to talk about
Mr.
it.
Lance, okay.
Yes,
All
because
right.
People still perceive Sinai Grace as, let me just say it, the ghetto hospital.
Oh, yes, they do.
And that's what they perceive.
That's true.
And we need to
That's so
change that
true.
narrative, because it is in the middle of our community.
That's ours.
And it's close to 50% of our population.
That's right.
And they need to know that there's some place you don't have to run to Henry Ford or
You sure
downtown
don't.
DMC or over to Corwell on 13 Mile.
That's right.
I mean, you don't have to do that.
No.
You've got a place right here who will give you exceptional care.
And they've been doing a lot in the community. They've been doing something called Coffee with a Doc. And so you have nurses and doctors who come out to the community on Saturdays, and they talk about things from hypertension all the way through all the things. And it's free. The community comes out. They hear directly from these professionals. And this is just another layer of access, and also being able to touch those who provide resources to us in our communities. I'm not sure how often you can get a CEO in a room for an establishment like that and hear all the things. But there have been several nurses who have said, under this new leadership, they really do want us to be more community, I would say community based. So going out, letting people know what we do, and then bringing them back. They just did on Saturday, this mental health awareness piece, with all of the partnerships that they've had, Detroit branch, NAACP, D-WIN, all of these different groups to come in and talk about that. But I've gone to community baby showers there. The D9, they did an amazing job there. We were there for the legacy wall, which is the wall in the lobby area of those who be the match. So you had 29 families come in and talk about the importance of being an organ donor.
Yes.
And then the behavioral health unit on the 5th floor, that they modernized that in whole space. So again, these are stories that to me, if I'm one of the few who know it, that's not good enough.
Exactly.
And so instead of continuing to be part of the problem, trying to provide some solution by allowing Mr. Lance Buez to come out and hear from the community hear from him on June 2nd.
That will be great. It's so important that we keep that hospital open.
Yes.
That's the real issue.
Oh my goodness.
That we keep that hospital open for the people in that community, so they don't have to travel 10 or 20 extra miles
Yeah.
for healthcare.
I mean, and 10 and 20 extra miles could be
Life and death.
absolutely deciding factor between life or death.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yes, we're doing that. And then Shred Day is coming up again.
Oh, yes.
So we know Mama Irma Clark Coleman, the Shred Day that she initiated in her district.
Mhm.
I was able to still do one last year based on one she had already scheduled. And I must say, I'm pretty competitive. So when we had all of the documents shredded, I asked the company, how much did we shred?
Mhm.
He said, no one's ever asked that. And I said, well, there's a first time for everything. I need to know. And we shredded over 5,000 pounds of paper. So we're doing it again on June 20th, and we're partnering with the 10th precinct this time. So we'll be at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church.
Oh, okay.
Pastor White,
Yes.
Mr. Alvin Stokes, who's the chair of the community relations department for the 10th precinct. But all of the documents, tax season is over.
Yes.
We got a lot of stuff that we need to get rid of. Please don't put it in the dumpsters. People are
No.
still dumpster diving. Can you believe that?
Isn't that amazing?
Oh my
Isn't that
gosh.
amazing?
I can't believe they're still doing that. So Shred Day, 12 to 3 on June 20th. And so we're excited about that as
Dexter
well.
Avenue Baptist Church.
Dexter
everybody.
Avenue Baptist.
Dexter and Davison.
Yes. And we have Senior Fest coming up.
Oh,
June 13th, Senior Fest.
All right.
Hines Park, we
yes.
we want to make sure our seniors come out and have a really good time.
Yes.
Just a good time and spend some time dancing and laughing and being loved on,
That's important.
So I think people should know that this is what I recognize is that people are aware of city activities and things, but they're not necessarily where the county
Exactly. So putting it out there for the county
That's
is
right.
really, really, really important. Really important.
It really is.
Really important. We got to do this again.
We definitely have to do it
We
again
have to do
because
this
I'm
again.
apologizing for starting late. And I could come as often as you would have me.
Well, but before we finish, everybody, there's an election coming up. Primary is in August. We need to make sure that everybody votes. Everybody needs to get to the polls. I talk about this every time there's an election. And if you can't make it to the poll, you're going to be out of town. Early voting starts June 26th.
That's right.
Do it early.
No excuse.
You have no excuse not to vote. That's why we're in some of the messes we're in now, because you didn't vote. You didn't vote. I'm pointing at you. You didn't vote. Get yourself to the polls. And if you can't get there, do it absentee, do it early, but whatever you need to do it. New Prospect has established a social justice committee where we will be pushing voting every week.
Yes. When does that start?
We just started. We started already. We started a month ago. And we will continue after every service.
Yes.
We have voter registration. We have voter information. Awesome. You need to get to the polls.
And they need to get there in August.
Yes.
So many times people don't vote in the primary.
And I tell you, the primary is what makes the difference.
Yes.
Get to the polls in August. And so, I'll talk to you about this every week from now on. Get yourself to the poll. And I'll also say that I know I got to go. Sorry, I got to go. I'm coming. But I got to say this last thing. If you don't vote, if you didn't vote, don't come complaining to me about nothing.
Please don't.
Here.
Please don't.
Because you don't count.
No.
Obviously, you don't think enough of yourself to cast a vote. That is your voice.
Do people understand what's on the ballot? What's at risk?
Yeah, that is your voice. If you don't vote, you're saying, I don't care.
Yeah.
So don't say a thing to me about what you don't like and what happened if you didn't vote. Sorry about that, but I mean it. You'll hear more every week about getting your souls to the polls. Vote to the polls, vote.
And 18-year-olds. You're 18 now.
Yes.
You're graduating high school. Listen, this is your opportunity. As you say, oftentimes that people don't listen to you because you're young. Here is a way for people to listen to you. Your vote matters.
This is the way you tell folks what you think.
Yes.
Vote. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week at 4:00 Community Bell Show. Thank you, Madam Commissioner.
Thank
for
you
being
for
here.
having me.
We'll have you back. So we can talk about
absolutely.
more stuff.
Yes.
Have a great week, everyone. And I know next week is Memorial Day. Enjoy your Memorial Day. enjoy your Memorial Day. Be safe. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Community Bell with your host, former Wayne County Commissioner Edna Bell. This broadcast was brought to you by WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. If you've enjoyed this broadcast, tell a friend to tune in. We'll see you next Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern to the Community Bell Show, right here on WVTC Radio Detroit.
Come, you're invited to a powerful move of God at the Spring Revival at New Prospect Missionary Baptist Church. Join us May 19th and 20th, where inspiration meets transformation. Lecture begins at 6 p.m. with the dynamic teacher, Reverend Dr. Jesse T. Williams, Jr.
Don't you ever let the looks and thoughts or words of people stop you from connecting to Jesus Christ.
And at 7 p.m., experience a life-changing revival message from powerhouse preacher, Reverend Dr. Lance Watson.
Don't let them prognosticate about your future, because your meaning, your significance, your value ought not be determined by them. It ought to be determined by him.
All services will be held at New Prospect Missionary Baptist Church, 6330 Pembroke at Livernois in Detroit. Come expecting and leave renewed. Everyone is welcome. Reverend Dr. M. Andrew Davis, Senior Pastor. There's no experience like the New Prospect experience. See you there.
You're listening to WVTC Gospel Radio Detroit, and we're flowing in the Spirit.